Have you ever wondered why adding more resources to a system sometimes makes it worse? This counterintuitive phenomenon, known as the paradox of enrichment, challenges our basic assumptions about improvement and stability. In this video, we'll explore how a simple ecological observation snowballed into a principle that questions the very nature of progress. From predator-prey dynamics to economic policies, prepare to have your understanding of complex systems turned upside down. The delicate balance of nature. Nature, in its infinite complexity, often presents us with delicate balances that seem to defy our understanding. One such equilibrium exists in the intricate dance between predators and their prey, a relationship that has fascinated ecologists for generations. Picture, if you will, a serene forest ecosystem where wolves and deer coexist in a seemingly perfect harmony. The wolves, with their keen senses and pack mentality, keep the deer population in check, while the deer, swift and numerous, provide sustenance for the predators. This ecological equilibrium, however, is far from static. It is a dynamic system, constantly adjusting and readjusting to maintain a precarious balance. The deer population fluctuates in response to various factors such as food availability, weather conditions, and predation pressure. Simultaneously, the wolf population responds to these changes in their prey's abundance, creating a feedback loop that has been honed over millennia of evolution. As humans, we often observe these natural systems with a mixture of awe and concern. Our innate desire to improve and optimize frequently leads us to contemplate interventions in these delicate ecosystems. We ask ourselves, could we enhance this balance? Could we create a more abundant, thriving ecosystem by providing additional resources? This well-intentioned impulse to enrich natural systems is not without precedent. Throughout history, humans have attempted to manipulate ecosystems for various reasons, often with the noble goal of conservation or habitat restoration. One common approach has been to increase resources for prey species, operating under the assumption that a more abundant prey population would lead to a healthier, more robust ecosystem overall. Consider, for instance, the practice of supplemental feeding programs for deer in certain regions. Wildlife managers have implemented these programs with the aim of supporting deer populations during harsh winters or in areas where natural food sources have been depleted. The rationale behind such interventions is straightforward. By providing additional nutrition, we can help more deer survive and reproduce, thereby ensuring a stable food source for predators and maintaining the ecosystem's balance. Similarly, in aquatic ecosystems, scientists and conservationists have experimented with nutrient enrichment to boost primary productivity. By adding nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus to lakes or coastal areas, they aim to stimulate algal growth, which forms the base of the aquatic food chain. The theory was that this would lead to more abundant fish populations, benefiting both the ecosystem and human fishing industries. These interventions often showed promising results in the short term. In the case of supplemental feeding programs, deer populations indeed increased in many areas where they were implemented. The animals appeared healthier, with higher survival rates during winter months and improved reproductive success. Similarly, in nutrient-enriched aquatic systems, researchers observed initial boosts in algal biomass and, subsequently, in the populations of organisms higher up the food chain. The apparent success of these interventions seemed to validate the human impulse to improve upon nature. Conservationists and wildlife managers celebrated the increased abundance of prey species, believing they had found a way to enhance ecosystem productivity and stability. However, as with many complex systems, the true consequences of these actions would only become apparent with time. As we delve deeper into the outcomes of these ecological enrichment efforts, we find ourselves confronting a perplexing phenomenon that challenges our intuitive understanding of ecosystem dynamics. This phenomenon, which would come to be known as the paradox of enrichment, forces us to reconsider our assumptions about the relationship between resource abundance and ecosystem stability. The term paradox of enrichment was coined by Michael Rosenzweig in 1971 in a seminal paper published in the journal Science. Rosenzweig, an American ecologist, used mathematical models to demonstrate how increasing the carrying capacity of prey populations could, counterintuitively, lead to instability in predator-prey systems. His work would go on to revolutionize our understanding of ecosystem dynamics and the unintended consequences of human interventions in natural systems. As we transition from the initial optimism surrounding ecological enrichment to the unexpected outcomes that followed, we find ourselves on the cusp of a profound shift in ecological thinking. The paradox of enrichment serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us that even our most well-intentioned efforts to improve natural systems can have far-reaching and often unforeseen consequences when good intentions backfire. In the realm of ecological systems, the road to disaster is often paved with good intentions. As we delve into the complex dynamics of predator-prey relationships, we'll discover why adding resources to a system can trigger a chain reaction that ends in widespread population crashes. What unforeseen consequences await when we attempt to improve upon nature's intricate designs? The initial stages of ecological enrichment often present a picture of thriving abundance. Imagine a lush meadow teeming with rabbits, their populations swelling in response to an influx of additional food resources. The rabbits multiply rapidly, their numbers increasing exponentially as they take advantage of the seemingly endless supply of nourishment. This surge in prey population creates a veritable feast for predators, such as foxes, who find themselves in a world of plenty. As the rabbit population flourishes, the foxes experience a corresponding boom in their numbers. The abundance of prey allows fox populations to grow exponentially, with more individuals surviving to adulthood and reproducing successfully. This rapid increase in predator numbers might initially appear as a positive outcome, suggesting a healthy and balanced ecosystem. However, this apparent success masks an impending crisis that threatens to destabilize the entire system. The mathematical models underpinning predator-prey dynamics reveal the precarious nature of this enriched ecosystem. These models, pioneered by ecologists and mathematicians, demonstrate how the introduction of additional resources can amplify the natural oscillations between predator and prey populations. In a typical predator-prey system, such as rabbits and foxes, the populations of both species fluctuate in response to each other. When prey numbers are high, predator populations increase, which then leads to a decrease in prey numbers. This cycle continues in a natural rhythm, maintaining a balance over time. However, the introduction of additional resources disrupts this delicate equilibrium. The models show that as prey populations increase rapidly due to the enrichment, predator populations can grow to unprecedented levels. This exponential growth in predator numbers sets the stage for a critical problem. The predators become so numerous that they begin to consume prey faster than the prey population can reproduce. The concept of carrying capacity plays a crucial role in understanding this phenomenon. In ecology, carrying capacity refers to the maximum population size that an environment can sustain indefinitely, given the available resources. Under normal circumstances, both predator and prey populations are limited by the carrying capacity of their environment. However, when additional resources are introduced, the carrying capacity for the prey species increases, allowing for rapid population growth. This increase in prey carrying capacity has a cascading effect on the predator population. As prey numbers surge, the predators experience a temporary increase in their own carrying capacity. They reproduce more successfully, and their population grows beyond what would typically be sustainable in the long term. This overshoot of the predator population relative to the prey's reproductive capacity is the crux of the paradox of enrichment. The tension in the system builds as predator numbers continue to climb. The once abundant prey population begins to feel the pressure of increased predation. The rabbits, despite their rapid reproduction, struggle to maintain their numbers in the face of the growing fox population. The system teeters on the brink of collapse, with the predators unknowingly pushing their food source towards extinction. The resolution of this tension comes in the form of a sudden and catastrophic crash in prey populations. The foxes, having grown so numerous, deplete the rabbit population faster than it can recover. This overexploitation leads to a rapid decline in rabbit numbers, leaving insufficient prey to support the inflated fox population. The consequences are dire for both species. As the prey population plummets, the predators face a severe food shortage. The foxes, now far too numerous for the available resources, experience a dramatic population crash of their own. The once thriving ecosystem descends into chaos, with both predator and prey populations collapsing to levels far below their initial states before the enrichment occurred. This ecological phenomenon serves as a broader metaphor for complex systems, revealing how attempts to improve or enrich a system can paradoxically lead to its collapse when the underlying dynamics are not fully understood. The paradox of enrichment extends far beyond the realm of ecology, offering valuable insights into fields such as economics, social systems, and resource management. In economics, for instance, the paradox can be observed in situations where an influx of resources or capital into a market leads to overproduction, market saturation, and eventual economic downturns. The boom and bust cycles seen in various industries often mirror the predator-prey dynamics observed in enriched ecosystems. Similarly, in social systems, well-intentioned policies aimed at improving conditions can sometimes lead to unexpected negative consequences. For example, poverty alleviation programs that provide unconditional aid without addressing underlying systemic issues may create dependency and unintended social disruptions, echoing the destabilizing effects of ecological enrichment. The paradox of enrichment also has implications for resource management and conservation efforts. It highlights the importance of understanding the complex interactions within ecosystems before implementing interventions. Conservation strategies that focus solely on increasing the numbers of a particular species without considering the broader ecological context may inadvertently lead to ecosystem instability. Furthermore, the paradox challenges our assumptions about the relationship between resource availability and system stability. It demonstrates that more is not always better, and that the resilience of a system often depends on the delicate balance between its components, rather than the abundance of resources. In the context of environmental management, the paradox of enrichment underscores the need for holistic approaches that consider the intricate web of relationships within ecosystems. It suggests that conservation efforts should focus on maintaining ecological balance, rather than simply maximizing the abundance of particular species or resources. The paradox also highlights the limitations of our ability to predict and control complex systems. It serves as a humbling reminder that even with the best intentions and seemingly logical interventions, we may trigger unforeseen consequences that can destabilize entire systems. The ripple effect of ecosystem collapse. In the aftermath of an enrichment-induced collapse, the ecosystem finds itself in a state of profound disarray. The once abundant prey population, which had flourished due to the influx of resources, now lies decimated. This sudden scarcity of prey reverberates through the food chain, setting in motion a series of ecological repercussions that extend far beyond the initial predator-prey relationship. The concept of trophic cascades offers a framework for understanding the far-reaching consequences of such collapses. A trophic cascade occurs when changes in the population of one species trigger a domino effect that alters multiple levels of the food chain, potentially transforming entire ecosystem dynamics. In the case of an enrichment-induced collapse, the abrupt decline in prey population acts as the catalyst for this cascade. As prey becomes scarce, predator populations face a severe challenge. The rapid growth they experience during the period of abundance quickly becomes unsustainable. Predators, having multiplied their numbers beyond the ecosystem's carrying capacity, now find themselves in a precarious position. The ecological mechanism at play involves predators taking advantage of abundant prey, rapidly multiplying their own population beyond the ecosystem's sustainable limits. This overexploitation of resources leads to a situation where predators consume prey faster than they can reproduce, exacerbating the population crash. The repercussions of this predator-prey imbalance extend far beyond these two species. Consider, for instance, the role that certain prey species play in seed dispersal or pollination. Their sudden absence can lead to changes in plant populations, altering the very foundation of the ecosystem. Similarly, the decline in predator numbers may allow for the proliferation of smaller predators or competing species, further disrupting the delicate balance of the food web. These ecosystem-wide changes can manifest in unexpected ways. For example, the loss of a keystone predator species might result in the overgrazing of vegetation by herbivores, leading to increased soil erosion and changes in local hydrology. In aquatic ecosystems, the collapse of a fish population could lead to algal blooms, as the organisms that normally keep algae in check are no longer present in sufficient numbers. The long-term consequences of these ecological disturbances can be severe and far-reaching. Ecosystems that have evolved over thousands of years may find themselves fundamentally altered in a matter of decades. The intricate web of relationships between species, carefully balanced through evolutionary processes, can unravel rapidly when subjected to such intense perturbations. Moreover, the effects of these disturbances are not confined to the immediate area of the collapse. Migratory species, for instance, may carry the impact of local ecosystem changes to distant regions. A decline in fish populations in one area could affect seabird colonies thousands of miles away, as these birds rely on specific feeding grounds during their annual migrations. The difficulty of restoring balance to a destabilized ecosystem cannot be overstated. Ecosystem restoration after significant disturbances becomes extremely challenging because the interconnected nature of species relationships means that damage can propagate through multiple ecological levels. The complex interdependencies between species make it nearly impossible to simply reintroduce lost species and expect the system to return to its previous state. Attempts at restoration often reveal the limitations of our understanding of ecosystem dynamics. Even with careful planning and extensive resources, re-establishing the delicate balance of a complex ecosystem proves to be a Herculean task. The process is further complicated by the fact that ecosystems are not static entities. They are constantly evolving and adapting to changing conditions. A restored ecosystem may never truly resemble its pre-disturbance state, instead settling into a new equilibrium that reflects the altered conditions and species compositions. The challenges of ecosystem restoration highlight the importance of preventing collapses in the first place. Understanding the complex system dynamics at play in ecology is crucial for developing effective conservation and management strategies. The paradox of enrichment serves as a stark reminder that even well-intentioned interventions can have unintended and potentially catastrophic consequences. This paradox forces us to reconsider our approach to ecosystem management and conservation. Rather than focusing solely on increasing the abundance of certain species or resources, a more holistic approach is necessary. This approach must take into account the intricate relationships between species, the carrying capacity of the ecosystem, and the potential for cascading effects throughout the food web. The implications of the paradox of enrichment extend beyond the realm of ecology, offering valuable insights for fields such as economics, social policy, and resource management. Just as an influx of resources can destabilize an ecosystem, similar principles may apply to other complex systems. For instance, in economics, an abundance of cheap credit or sudden resource windfalls can lead to boom and bust cycles that mirror the population dynamics observed in enriched ecosystems. As we continue to grapple with global challenges such as climate change, habitat loss, and resource depletion, the lessons learned from the paradox of enrichment become increasingly relevant. These insights underscore the need for a systems-thinking approach to problem solving, one that considers the interconnected nature of complex systems and anticipates potential unintended consequences. Beyond ecology, the paradox in human systems. The principles underlying the paradox of enrichment, initially observed in ecological systems, extend far beyond the natural world. As we shift our focus from predator-prey relationships to human-created systems, striking parallels emerge, challenging our understanding of complex dynamics in economics, finance, and social policy. The same paradoxical forces that destabilize ecosystems may be silently undermining our institutions and well-intentioned interventions. In the realm of economics, policies designed to stimulate growth and prosperity can paradoxically lead to systemic instability, mirroring the ecological enrichment paradox's mechanism of destabilizing systems through seemingly positive interventions. Economic stimulus packages, for instance, are often implemented with the intention of boosting economic activity during periods of recession or stagnation. These interventions, analogous to resource enrichment in ecosystems, aim to inject capital and resources into the economy to spur growth and job creation. However, much like the unintended consequences observed in ecological systems, economic stimulus can sometimes produce unexpected negative outcomes. The influx of capital can create artificial market conditions, leading to overproduction, asset bubbles, or unsustainable growth patterns. For example, expansionary monetary policies, such as quantitative easing, may temporarily boost economic indicators, but can also lead to long-term issues such as inflation, currency devaluation, or increased income inequality. The concept of moral hazard in financial systems represents another manifestation of the enrichment paradox. Moral hazard occurs when individuals or institutions are protected from the negative consequences of their actions, leading them to engage in riskier behavior. In the context of financial systems, this often takes the form of government bailouts or insurance schemes designed to provide safety nets for financial institutions. While these safety nets are intended to stabilize the financial system and protect against systemic collapse, They can paradoxically encourage riskier behavior among financial institutions, banks, and other financial entities, knowing they are too big to fail and will likely be rescued in the event of a crisis, may take on excessive risks in pursuit of higher profits. This dynamic mirrors the ecological paradox where predators, faced with an abundance of prey, may overshoot sustainable population levels, ultimately leading to systemic instability. The 2008 financial crisis serves as a stark example of this phenomenon. The implicit guarantee of government bailouts for large financial institutions contributed to a culture of risk-taking that ultimately destabilized the entire global financial system. The subsequent government interventions, while necessary to prevent complete economic collapse, further reinforced the moral hazard problem, potentially sowing the seeds for future crises. Social policies designed to alleviate poverty and improve living conditions can also fall victim to the enrichment paradox. Well-intentioned programs aimed at providing assistance to vulnerable populations may inadvertently create dependencies or disrupt existing social structures. For instance, unconditional cash transfer programs, while effective in providing immediate relief, can sometimes lead to reduced labor force participation or create disincentives for skill development. Similarly, food aid programs in developing countries, while crucial for addressing immediate hunger needs, can potentially undermine local agricultural markets and create long-term dependencies on foreign assistance. These outcomes echo the ecological enrichment paradox's mechanism of destabilizing systems through interventions that, on the surface, appear beneficial. The parallels between these human systems and ecological dynamics are striking. In both cases, the introduction of additional resources or protections can lead to unexpected systemic imbalances. Just as predator populations may grow beyond sustainable levels in response to increased prey availability, economic actors may engage in unsustainable practices when shielded from the natural consequences of their actions. Moreover, the interconnected nature of human systems mirrors the complex web of relationships in ecosystems. Changes in one sector of the economy or society can have far-reaching and often unforeseen consequences in others. For example, policies aimed at promoting homeownership through easy credit may not only affect the housing market, but also impact financial markets, consumer spending patterns, and even social mobility. Understanding these parallels can provide valuable insights for policymakers and system designers. The lessons learned from the paradox of enrichment in ecology underscore the need for a more nuanced and holistic approach to interventions in human systems. Rather than focusing solely on increasing resources or implementing protective measures, attention must be paid to maintaining system balance and resilience. This perspective challenges traditional approaches to problem solving in economics and social policy. Instead of seeking to maximize a single variable, such as GDP growth or poverty reduction, policymakers should consider the broader systemic implications of their interventions. This might involve implementing more targeted and flexible policies that can adapt to changing conditions, much like the dynamic equilibrium observed in healthy ecosystems. Furthermore, the recognition of enrichment paradoxes in human systems highlights the importance of incorporating feedback mechanisms and safeguards into policy design. Just as ecosystems have evolved complex checks and balances to maintain stability, human-designed systems could benefit from built-in mechanisms to prevent overexploitation or unsustainable growth. The universal nature of the paradox of enrichment suggests that it may be a fundamental property of complex adaptive systems, whether natural or human-made. This realization opens up new avenues for cross-disciplinary research and collaboration. Ecologists, economists, and social scientists may find common ground in studying the dynamics of system stability and the unintended consequences of interventions. As we grapple with increasingly complex global challenges, from climate change to economic inequality, the insights gained from understanding the paradox of enrichment become ever more relevant. These challenges often involve intricate webs of cause and effect that span multiple systems and scales, making them resistant to simple, linear solutions. The systems thinking approach. As we grapple with increasingly complex global challenges, a new approach to problem solving emerges that promises to revolutionize our understanding of interconnected systems. Systems thinking offers a holistic lens through which we can examine the intricate web of relationships that shape our world, revealing hidden connections and unexpected consequences that traditional methods often overlook. At its core, systems thinking is a comprehensive approach to problem solving that focuses on understanding the complex interconnections within systems, rather than examining individual parts in isolation. This methodology challenges us to expand our perspective, encouraging us to zoom out and consider the entire picture, rather than fixating on isolated components. By doing so, systems thinking unveils the intricate dance of cause and effect across multiple domains, offering insights that can transform how we tackle the world's most pressing issues. The principles underlying systems thinking are both profound and far-reaching. Central to this approach is the recognition of feedback loops, which play a crucial role in shaping system behavior. These loops can either stabilize or destabilize a system, depending on their nature and interactions. Understanding these feedback mechanisms is essential for predicting how interventions might ripple through a system, potentially leading to unintended consequences. Another key aspect of systems thinking involves analyzing how different components of a system interact, influence each other, and create emergent behaviors. These emergent properties cannot be predicted by examining individual parts separately, highlighting the limitations of reductionist approaches. Instead, systems thinking emphasizes the importance of understanding interdependencies and acknowledging that systems are dynamic and constantly evolving. This approach stands in stark contrast to traditional linear problem-solving methods, which often focus on addressing symptoms rather than underlying causes. Linear thinking tends to oversimplify complex issues, leading to short-term solutions that may inadvertently exacerbate problems in the long run. Systems thinking, on the other hand, encourages us to dig deeper, uncover root causes, and consider the broader implications of our actions across various timescales and domains. One of the most powerful aspects of systems thinking is its ability to help predict and prevent enrichment paradoxes. By considering the complex interplay of factors within a system, we can anticipate potential unintended consequences before they occur. For instance, in urban planning, a systems thinking approach might reveal how efforts to alleviate traffic congestion by building new roads could paradoxically lead to increased traffic due to induced demand. By modeling these interactions in advance, planners can explore alternative solutions that address the root causes of congestion rather than simply treating its symptoms. Similarly, in public health, systems thinking can help policymakers avoid the pitfalls of well-intentioned interventions that might inadvertently worsen health outcomes. For example, a systems analysis of food subsidy programs might reveal how subsidizing certain crops could lead to increased consumption of processed foods, potentially contributing to higher rates of obesity and related health issues. By considering these complex interactions, policymakers can design more holistic interventions that promote overall health and well-being. Despite its potential, applying systems thinking to real-world problems comes with significant challenges. One major hurdle is overcoming the human tendency to think in linear, reductionist ways. Our cognitive biases often lead us to seek simple cause and effect relationships, even when dealing with complex systems. Breaking free from these ingrained patterns of thought requires concerted effort and practice. Another challenge lies in the difficulty of fully mapping and understanding extremely complex systems. As the number of variables and interactions increases, so does the complexity of the system, making it challenging to create accurate models or predictions. There's also a risk of oversimplification when trying to model intricate interactions, potentially leading to flawed conclusions or misguided interventions. Furthermore, successful implementation of systems thinking often requires interdisciplinary collaboration, as complex problems frequently span multiple domains and cannot be solved by a single perspective. This necessitates breaking down silos between different fields of expertise and fostering communication between diverse stakeholders, which can be logistically and culturally challenging in many organizations and institutions. Despite these challenges, systems thinking has been successfully applied across a wide range of fields, demonstrating its versatility in addressing complex challenges. In ecology, systems thinking has revolutionized our understanding of ecosystem dynamics, helping conservationists develop more effective strategies for preserving biodiversity and managing natural resources. By considering the intricate relationships between species, their habitats, and human activities, ecologists can design interventions that maintain ecological balance rather than inadvertently disrupting it. In the realm of economics, systems thinking has led to new insights into market dynamics and economic policy. For instance, economists using systems approaches have developed more sophisticated models of financial markets, helping to identify potential sources of systemic risk and instability. This has informed regulatory policies aimed at preventing financial crises and promoting long-term economic stability. Systems thinking has also made significant contributions to organizational management. Companies that adopt a systems perspective are better equipped to navigate complex business environments, anticipate market trends, and adapt to changing conditions. By viewing their organizations as interconnected systems, leaders can identify leverage points for change and implement more effective strategies for growth and innovation. In the field of social policy, systems thinking has helped policymakers develop more comprehensive approaches to addressing persistent social issues. For example, efforts to reduce poverty have benefited from systems analysis that considers the complex interplay of factors such as education, healthcare, employment opportunities, and social support networks. This holistic approach has led to more integrated and effective interventions that address the root causes of poverty rather than just its symptoms. As we look to the future, the value of systems thinking in addressing complex global challenges becomes increasingly apparent. Climate change, for instance, is a quintessential systems problem that requires a holistic approach to understand and address. By applying systems thinking to climate change mitigation and adaptation strategies, we can better anticipate the cascading effects of our actions across various ecosystems, economies, and societies. Similarly, tackling issues of global health, food security, and sustainable development demands a systems approach that considers the intricate connections between environmental, social, and economic factors. As we grapple with these interconnected challenges, systems thinking provides a powerful framework for developing more resilient and sustainable solutions, strategies for avoiding enrichment paradoxes. While systems thinking offers a powerful framework for understanding complex interconnections, implementing it effectively requires more than just theoretical knowledge. The challenge lies in proactively managing these intricate systems to avoid the pitfalls of unintended consequences, such as the paradox of enrichment. This task is far from simple, as the very act of intervention can potentially destabilize the system we're trying to improve. Proactive management in complex systems demands a deep understanding of the interconnected nature of ecological, economic, and social networks. It requires a holistic approach that considers not only the immediate effects of an intervention, but also its ripple effects across various components of the system. This comprehensive perspective is essential for anticipating potential unintended consequences and developing strategies to mitigate them. One of the primary challenges in managing complex systems is predicting outcomes with any degree of certainty. The multitude of variables and their intricate interactions make it difficult to foresee all possible consequences of an intervention. This uncertainty is compounded by the fact that complex systems often exhibit non-linear behavior, where small changes can lead to disproportionately large effects. To address this challenge, researchers and practitioners have turned to advanced modeling and simulation techniques. These computational tools allow for the creation of virtual representations of complex systems, enabling managers to explore various scenarios and their potential outcomes. By simulating different interventions and observing their effects on the system as a whole, decision makers can gain valuable insights into the potential consequences of their actions. For example, in ecosystem management, sophisticated models can simulate the effects of introducing or removing species, changing resource availability, or altering environmental conditions. These simulations can help ecologists and conservationists identify potential tipping points or unexpected feedback loops that might lead to system instability. While modeling and simulation are powerful tools, they are not infallible. The complexity of real-world systems often exceeds our ability to model them accurately. As such, successful proactive management strategies often incorporate adaptive management principles. This approach involves continuous monitoring of the system, flexibility in decision-making, and a willingness to adjust interventions based on emerging data and system responses. Adaptive management recognizes that our understanding of complex systems is inherently incomplete and that we must be prepared to learn and adapt as we go. This strategy allows for course corrections when unexpected outcomes arise, reducing the risk of catastrophic system failures. Several key principles underpin effective proactive management in complex systems. First and foremost is the recognition that adding more resources doesn't necessarily improve system stability. In fact, as the paradox of enrichment demonstrates, sometimes less intervention is more effective. Managers must resist the temptation to always do more and instead focus on understanding the delicate balance between different system components. Another crucial principle is the avoidance of drastic, unilateral interventions. Complex systems often have evolved over long periods to reach a state of relative stability. Sudden, large-scale changes can disrupt this balance in unpredictable ways. Instead, managers should consider implementing smaller, incremental changes that allow the system to adapt gradually. Diversity and redundancy are also essential elements in maintaining system stability. In ecological systems, biodiversity provides resilience against environmental changes or disturbances. Similarly, in economic or social systems, diversity of ideas, approaches, and resources can help buffer against unexpected shocks. Redundancy, often viewed as inefficient in traditional management paradigms, can provide crucial backup systems that prevent cascading failures. Interdisciplinary collaboration is another cornerstone of effective proactive management. Complex systems rarely conform to the boundaries of academic disciplines, or organizational departments. Addressing challenges in these systems requires bringing together experts from various fields to develop comprehensive management strategies that can anticipate and mitigate potential system disruptions. For instance, managing urban development requires input from urban planners, economists, ecologists, sociologists, and engineers, among others. Each discipline brings unique insights and methodologies that, when combined, can provide a more complete understanding of the urban system and its potential responses to interventions. Successful interventions that have avoided enrichment paradoxes often share common characteristics. They typically involve careful, gradual changes implemented with continuous monitoring and adjustment. For example, in wildlife management, some conservation programs have successfully reintroduced predator species by carefully controlling the pace of introduction and closely monitoring the effects on prey populations and the broader ecosystem. In economic policy, some central banks have adopted a strategy of gradual, telegraphed changes in interest rates to avoid sudden shocks to financial markets. This approach allows various economic actors to adjust their behavior incrementally, reducing the risk of market instability. As we consider these strategies for avoiding enrichment paradoxes, it's important to recognize that they are not just theoretical concepts, but have practical applications across a wide range of fields. From environmental conservation to economic policy, from public health to urban planning, these approaches can help managers navigate the complexities of interconnected systems. Looking ahead, the application of these proactive management strategies holds great promise for addressing some of our most pressing global challenges. Climate change, for instance, is a quintessential complex systems problem that requires a holistic, adaptive approach. By applying the principles of systems thinking and proactive management, policymakers and scientists can develop more effective strategies for mitigating and adapting to climate change impacts. Case studies, triumphs over the paradox. The principles of proactive management in complex systems have been put to the test across various fields, yielding valuable insights into successful interventions that navigate the treacherous waters of enrichment paradoxes. While theory provides a foundation, real-world successes offer invaluable lessons in threading the needle between beneficial change and systemic instability. By examining concrete examples, we can illuminate the path to success in managing complex systems and avoiding the pitfalls of unintended consequences. One notable triumph over the paradox of enrichment comes from the realm of wildlife conservation in Yellowstone National Park. In the early 20th century, the park's ecosystem had become severely imbalanced due to the extirpation of wolves, leading to an overabundance of elk and subsequent overgrazing of vegetation. The reintroduction of wolves in 1995 presented a complex challenge: how to restore a keystone predator without triggering catastrophic population crashes or other unforeseen consequences. The success of this intervention lay in its carefully planned, gradual approach. Wildlife biologists and ecologists collaborated to develop a comprehensive strategy that considered multiple trophic levels and potential ripple effects throughout the ecosystem. Instead of a large-scale release, they introduced a small number of wolves initially, allowing for close monitoring and adaptive management as the ecosystem responded. This measured approach paid dividends. Over time, the presence of wolves not only regulated the elk population, but also triggered a cascading series of positive changes. Vegetation rebounded, providing habitat for diverse species. Beaver populations increased, altering stream dynamics and creating new wetland areas. The entire ecosystem showed signs of increased resilience and biodiversity. The Yellowstone wolf reintroduction demonstrates several key principles for successfully navigating complex systems. First, it emphasizes the importance of thorough pre-intervention modeling and analysis. Second, it highlights the value of starting small and scaling up gradually. Third, it underscores the necessity of ongoing monitoring and adaptive management. These principles allowed managers to avoid the potential pitfalls of the enrichment paradox while achieving their conservation goals. In the realm of economics, the implementation of conditional cash transfer (CCT) programs in Latin America provides another instructive case study. These programs aim to alleviate poverty by providing financial assistance to low-income families, contingent on specific behaviors such as ensuring children's school attendance or regular health checkups. The challenge lay in designing an intervention that would provide immediate relief while also fostering long-term socio-economic improvements, without creating dependency or disrupting local economic systems. Mexico's Progresa program, later renamed Oportunidades, stands out as a particularly successful example. Launched in 1997, the program was designed with a systems thinking approach, considering potential impacts on education, health, nutrition, and local economies. To avoid the pitfalls of unconditional aid, which can sometimes lead to reduced labor force participation or market distortions, Progressa incorporated carefully calibrated conditions and incentives. The program's success stemmed from several key factors. First, it was developed through interdisciplinary collaboration between economists, social scientists, and public health experts. This diverse team was able to anticipate and plan for a wide range of potential outcomes and interactions within the system. Second, the program was implemented with a robust evaluation component built in from the start. This allowed for continuous monitoring and adjustment based on empirical evidence rather than assumptions. Over time, Progresa Oportunidades demonstrated significant positive outcomes. It increased school enrollment, improved health outcomes, and reduced poverty rates without creating the kind of dependency or market disruptions often associated with large-scale aid programs. The program's success has led to its replication and adaptation in numerous other countries, showcasing how a well-designed intervention can navigate the complexities of social systems and avoid enrichment paradoxes. The field of urban planning offers yet another compelling case study in triumphing over the paradox of enrichment. The city of Curitiba, Brazil, faced rapid urbanization in the 1960s and 1970s, presenting challenges in transportation, waste management, and green space preservation. The potential for enrichment paradoxes was significant. Attempts to improve infrastructure could lead to increased congestion, while efforts to boost economic growth might result in environmental degradation. Under the leadership of architect and urban planner Jamie Lerner, Curitiba adopted an integrated, systems-based approach to urban development. Rather than pursuing isolated solutions to individual problems, the city's planners considered the interconnections between various urban systems. They developed a holistic strategy that simultaneously addressed transportation, land use, and environmental conservation. One of the most innovative aspects of Curitiba's approach was its bus rapid transit (BRT) system. Instead of building an expensive subway system or widening roads, which could induce demand and increase traffic, the city created dedicated bus lanes and efficient boarding systems. This approach not only improved transportation, but also shaped urban development patterns, encouraging high-density growth along transit corridors. Complementing the BRT system, Curitiba implemented a series of interconnected policies. These included strict zoning laws to prevent urban sprawl. the creation of numerous parks and green spaces to manage flooding and provide recreation areas, and an innovative waste management program that incentivized recycling and provided income opportunities for low-income residents. The success of Curitiba's urban planning strategy demonstrates several key principles for managing complex systems. First, it emphasizes the importance of considering multiple interconnected factors rather than focusing on isolated problems. Second, it shows the value of creative, context-specific solutions rather than one-size-fits-all approaches. Third, it highlights the benefits of participatory planning processes that engage diverse stakeholders. Over time, Curitiba's integrated approach yielded impressive results. The city achieved significantly higher public transit usage and recycling rates compared to other Brazilian cities, while also maintaining a high proportion of green space per capita. Importantly, these improvements were achieved without triggering the kind of runaway growth or environmental degradation often associated with rapid urban development. In the realm of global health, the eradication of smallpox stands as a remarkable triumph over complexity and potential enrichment paradoxes. The World Health Organization's smallpox eradication program, launched in 1967, faced enormous challenges. These included the risk of creating vaccine-resistant strains, the potential for the disease to find refuge in animal populations, and the complexities of implementing a global health campaign across diverse cultural and political contexts. The success of the smallpox eradication effort lay in its adaptive, systems-based approach. Rather than relying solely on mass vaccination, which could have led to resistance or resource depletion, the program employed a strategy of surveillance containment. This involved rapidly identifying and isolating cases, then vaccinating contacts to create rings of immunity around outbreaks. This approach allowed for efficient use of limited resources and avoided the potential paradox of creating more resistant strains through incomplete vaccination coverage. The program also demonstrated remarkable flexibility, adapting its strategies to local conditions and leveraging cultural practices and traditional healers to gain community trust and participation. The smallpox eradication campaign ultimately succeeded in eliminating a disease that had plagued humanity for millennia, declaring the world free of smallpox in 1980. This success story highlights several key principles for managing complex global systems: the importance of targeted interventions over blanket approaches, the value of adapting strategies to local contexts, and the power of coordinated international efforts. The future of managing complexity. As we stand on the precipice of a new era in systems management, artificial intelligence and big data loom large on the horizon, promising revolutionary approaches to understanding and navigating the labyrinthine challenges of complex systems. The principles that guided successful interventions in the past may soon be rendered obsolete as emerging technologies reshape our approach to managing complexity across various domains. Artificial intelligence and machine learning are at the forefront of this transformation, offering unprecedented analytical and predictive capabilities. These technologies are enabling more sophisticated approaches to understanding and modeling complex, interconnected systems across multiple domains, including ecology, economics, and social policy. By leveraging the power of AI, researchers and decision-makers can now process and analyze vast amounts of data, uncovering patterns and relationships that were previously undetectable to human observers. The role of big data in this revolution cannot be overstated. As our ability to collect and store information grows exponentially, so too does our capacity to understand system behavior. Researchers can now analyze massive data sets, identifying subtle correlations and causalities that eluded earlier generations of scientists. This wealth of information, combined with advanced machine learning algorithms, is enabling us to predict and simulate potential outcomes in complex systems with unprecedented accuracy. One of the most promising applications of these technologies is in the field of predictive modeling. Advanced AI systems are increasingly being used to anticipate unintended consequences before they occur, allowing decision makers to test various interventions in virtual environments before implementing them in the real world. This capability is particularly valuable when dealing with systems where the stakes are high and the potential for catastrophic failure is significant. However, the integration of AI and advanced technologies into complex systems management is not without its challenges. Ethical considerations are paramount, particularly regarding potential biases, transparency, and the potential for unintended negative consequences. As we increasingly rely on AI-driven decision-making processes, we must remain vigilant to ensure that these systems do not perpetuate or exacerbate existing inequalities or create new ones. The future of managing complexity lies not only in technological advancement, but also in the development of interdisciplinary approaches. Experts from diverse fields are increasingly collaborating to develop more comprehensive understanding and solutions to complex problems. This cross-pollination of ideas and methodologies is essential for tackling the multifaceted challenges that characterize complex systems. Current research in the field emphasizes the importance of adaptive management strategies that can respond dynamically to changing system conditions. These approaches move beyond static, linear problem-solving methods, recognizing that complex systems are inherently unpredictable and require flexible, iterative solutions. As our understanding of system dynamics evolves, so too must our strategies for intervention and management. One area where machine learning is making significant strides is in identifying complex, non-linear relationships within systems. Traditional analytical methods often struggle to capture these nuanced interactions, but AI algorithms are increasingly capable of uncovering hidden patterns and dependencies that drive system behavior. This enhanced understanding allows for more targeted and effective interventions, potentially mitigating the risk of unintended consequences. As we look to the future, the development of technologies that can handle increasingly sophisticated modeling and simulation of interconnected systems will be crucial. These advancements will enable us to create more accurate digital twins of real-world systems, allowing for extensive testing and refinement of management strategies before implementation. Such capabilities could revolutionize fields ranging from urban planning to global climate policy, providing decision-makers with powerful tools to navigate complexity. Despite these promising developments, significant challenges remain in developing AI systems that can truly understand and predict the emergent behaviors of complex systems. The sheer number of interacting variables and the potential for non-linear outcomes make this a formidable task. Researchers are grappling with questions of how to incorporate human expertise and intuition into AI-driven decision-making processes, recognizing that purely algorithmic approaches may miss critical nuances. The future of managing complexity will likely involve a delicate balance between leveraging advanced technologies and maintaining human oversight. While AI and machine learning offer unprecedented analytical power, human judgment and creativity will remain essential in interpreting results and crafting holistic solutions. This symbiotic relationship between human and machine intelligence may be the key to successfully navigating the increasingly complex challenges of the 21st century. As we continue to push the boundaries of our understanding of complex systems, new discoveries in system dynamics are likely to emerge. These insights may fundamentally alter our approach to problem solving across various domains, from ecosystem management to economic policy. The potential for breakthroughs in fields such as network theory, chaos theory, and complexity science could provide us with new tools and frameworks for managing intricate, interconnected systems. The ongoing nature of our relationship with complex systems means that we must remain adaptable and open to new approaches. As technologies evolve and our understanding deepens, we may need to reevaluate long-held assumptions about how systems function and how best to intervene in them. This constant process of learning and adaptation will be crucial in addressing the global challenges that lie ahead, from climate change to social inequality. The future of managing complexity also holds the promise of more personalized and context-specific interventions. As our ability to analyze and model systems at various scales improves, we may be able to tailor solutions to the unique characteristics of individual communities or ecosystems. This granular approach could lead to more effective and sustainable outcomes, avoiding the pitfalls of one-size-fits-all solutions that have often fallen short in the past. Interdisciplinary collaboration will be key to realizing the full potential of these emerging technologies and methodologies. By bringing together experts from fields such as computer science, ecology, sociology, and economics, we can develop more holistic and nuanced approaches to complex problems. This cross-pollination of ideas may lead to innovative solutions that transcend traditional disciplinary boundaries. As we look ahead, it is clear that the challenges we face in managing complex systems will only grow more intricate. Climate change, global pandemics, and rapidly evolving economic systems present unprecedented challenges that will test the limits of our understanding and our technological capabilities. However, with continued advancement in AI, big data analytics, and interdisciplinary research, we are better equipped than ever to confront these challenges head-on. As we conclude our exploration of the paradox of enrichment, we find ourselves at the intersection of ecology, economics, and social policy. This concept, originally observed in predator-prey dynamics, has proven to be a powerful lens through which to view complex systems across various domains. The universal nature of these dynamics underscores the importance of systems thinking in our increasingly interconnected world. The lessons learned from studying the paradox of enrichment extend far beyond academic discourse. They challenge us to reconsider our assumptions about resource allocation, intervention strategies, and the unintended consequences of well-intentioned actions. From urban planning to global health initiatives, the principles uncovered in this exploration can inform more nuanced and effective approaches to problem solving. As we move forward, the integration of advanced technologies such as artificial intelligence and machine learning offers new opportunities for managing complexity. These tools, combined with human expertise and interdisciplinary collaboration, hold the promise of more adaptive and context-specific interventions. However, they also present new challenges, particularly in terms of ethical considerations and the need for transparency in decision-making processes. In our personal and professional lives, embracing systems thinking can lead to more holistic and sustainable solutions. By recognizing the interconnected nature of the challenges we face, we can work towards creating resilient systems that can withstand and adapt to unforeseen disturbances. As we face global challenges like climate change and evolving economic systems, this approach becomes not just beneficial, but essential for our collective future.